I came into this part of Mexico and I was reminded of what Nigeria could have been. As I said, let me tell you a story about Nigeria. Because most of us, or many of us, don't know. Because we keep thinking that things are just going to get better. That if we manage to, elect one man or a couple of men, that all we just need is the right leader. Let me put it that way. We just think all we need is the right leader. That once we get the right leader in position, then he or she will fix all of our problems. Let me give you Nigeria from another perspective. In 1984, King Sunny Ade sang a song. I'm going to sing a few lines. Just stay with me. I'm going somewhere. Ẹ̀bẹ̀ làwa ń bọ̀ b'Elédùmarè, kó ṣíjú àánú wo Nàìjíríà yìí o. Ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa tẹ́wọ́ àdúrà, kí Nàìjíríà yìí kó tòrò kó rọ̀ wá lọ́rùn. Lágbára Olúwa wa, ìgbẹ̀yìn ń bọ̀ wá dà. Ìbùkún Olúwa wa kó bá wa gbé o láyé. Ṣé dáríjì àti rẹ́pọ̀ làwa ń fẹ́? Ṣé dáríjì àti rẹ́pọ̀ ló láyé? Pam 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 pam. Dun dun pam 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 pam. 1984. The translation of that, we're begging God to come and help us fix Nigeria. All we need is forgiveness, togetherness, unity, and all of that. That's the gist of the song. 1984. About a year before, or the same year, circa the same time, Sonny Okoson's Which Way Nigeria, Which Way to Go? I love my fatherland, I want to know. Which way Nigeria, which way to go? In 1985, Chief Commander Ebenezer Obey sang, Nigeria ishi madun oda mi loju, Lola Oluwa, adun, 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 Bekun peda lekan ayo n bo lowuro, o tojo meta ti ati gbòmìnira. Essentially the same thing. This Nigeria, as bad as things are, will still be sweet. I know it. And I could keep going on and on. I could go back to the 1970s. I could go back to the 1960s. I could go further into the 1990s. I could do all of that. But to save time, the point is clear. Every day from the dawn of what we call Nigeria, people have always sung that Nigeria is bad, or that Nigeria is tough, or that Nigeria is in trouble. And they've always been right. However, Nigeria just keeps getting steadily worse. In fact, if we who live in 2026 could go back to the conditions of 1984, we will give anything. Compared to where we are right now, the conditions of Nigeria in the 1984s, 1984-85 looks like heaven. Looks like heaven relative to where we are right now. You know what that tells you? As bad as these conditions of 2026 are, we will look back in 2040 and 2050 and wish for these conditions, the one we have right now. As bad as we think it is right now, if we don't do anything, we are going to look back in 2050 and say, so we were enjoying in 2026 and we didn't know. The solution to Nigeria's problems, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I can see, is very simple. It is not easy, but it is simple. However, we will refuse to do it. And I could tell you in the comments, or rather I could tell you right now, but the amount of abuse and insult that people will hit my way in the comments is not worth it. But I'll leave you a hint. The Yoruba people say, we say in Ajawa, that Ile taba fi tomo, iri ni owo, the house that you mold with saliva instead of water. It is ordinary morning mist that will bring it down. You don't even need the rain. Ordinary morning mist, as subtle, as gentle, and as light it is, as it is what will bring down the house that you built with saliva instead of water.
There are many things going wrong in this country that people don't know about. There are some of us, even when we go abroad. I remember in 1989, I entered the office of my professor, my dean, Professor Wenninger, I think he's late now, in Western Germany. I entered his library, I picked a book I was just going through. And he came in and screamed, don't touch it, don't touch it. What is the problem? He said it's not meant for third world countries. Those books are not meant for even Poland, not meant for East Europe. Because there are secrets there. But I was able to see a few things before they took the books from me. One, that the exchange rate of a nation is artificially fixed. Because they are political economy. Two, that no nation will ever be developed unless they have a homogeneity in one aspect of their life. The same tribe, the same religion, the same ethos, like US, which was freedom. But US is going to crash. The freedom must be taken too far. So freedom is what will kill US. Take note of that. I may be dead then, but you know that it's a fallen nation. No country, in those books they wrote, no country will ever develop unless they belong to the same tribe or race.
So that means there's no hope for Nigeria.
Oh, there's no hope. Let me just put it this way. If I live too long, maybe I die at the age of 95, which is just about 30 years time. But definitely, if I get there, it will be a miracle. But let somebody note it down so that you tell somebody after me, Nigeria will never, I'm sorry, develop. Unless there's an authoritarian regime that tie our neck together, force us to do what they want for at least a minimum of 25 years, like it was done in China. After then, you cannot begin to release freedom little by little. Otherwise, Nigeria is a country that is being, there's a tug of war where some people will hold each other that way, some people hold each other this way, then you start pulling at the center. In Nigeria, what we have is multiple pullings, multiple tugs of war. One here, dragging the center. It can never develop. Because our budgetary system is, oh, you are giving 10 roads to Edo, 10 roads to Lagos. You must give 10 roads to Bauchi, 10 roads to Gombe, 10 roads that they don't need. I was a bank manager in the 90s. When I came back from Germany, I was posted to Bauchi. You have roads that only sheep sleep on them at night. And then you have donkeys on them, no motor. And they are all everywhere. Now, look at Lagos, the port that supplies the north. No rail. Because if you say, let's put rail, the northern senators and others will insist, no way. You must put the same thing in a place that is not productive. Like the rail line Buhari built to Niger Republic. It's dead, it's big. And we borrowed $1.9 billion to build it. We are paying China now. And it's not doing anything for Nigeria. If they have put it on the port, these our roads would have been saved. Roads would have lasted longer. Life would have been. Then the cost of spare parts. Again, the cost of spare parts, the things we use in maintaining our vehicle because of borrow, is higher than the total sale of Nigerian crude oil. Quote me. I may not be a professor of economics, but that is the truth. I told you that malaria treatment, the drugs that we import, is higher. The cost is higher than the cost of what we sell, what we get from oil. Think about that.
So why is Nigeria being referred to as a third world country?
The answer has answered itself. In a third world is even too good, because if we have fifth world, let me tell you this. In 1989, when the Berlin Wall was falling, East Germany was far behind Nigeria. The roads were just cement, narrow, or these interlocking blocks. So backward that me who came from Nigeria felt I was more developed. 5 years later, East Germany was beating UK, beating Canada, beating part of US. Actually, let me drop this bombshell again. Generally, in terms of development, the most developed world right now is China. Only that they still have rural areas that are far behind Nigeria. But in this rural area, everybody is productive. China is so developed that they are building cities that there are no human beings there, just skyscrapers, every amenity there for the future. And then their rail system, you know, I flew from Shanghai to Beijing. Going back to Shanghai, I said, let me take the train. Do you know the airplane that took off from Beijing to Shanghai and the train got to Shanghai before the aeroplane? I mean, trains that are faster than aircraft. China is so advanced in building infrastructure in so much that each time I'm in China, having visited 4 times, I see American tourists, British tourists, French, always open their mouth looking, just looking. And you hear noise about the tallest building in the world here and there, the one in Dubai. No, China has it. They don't talk about it. They don't talk about it. I was just talking to my friends. When I get to Dubai, I'll go there and say, no, look at the tallest building, balloon building. And when I got there, I went, you know where aeroplanes fly, 35 feet above. The balloon building is above where aeroplanes fly. That is above that cloud you see when you are flying. So when you are there, you are not allowed to spend more than 10 minutes because it's pressurized, so that you won't bust out, your blood won't bust out. They rush you by, you just take a bottle and then you go down immediately. Now you see aircraft, international aircraft flying below. So China is doing everything. The longest bridge, intercontinental, from Zhuhai, it's a port city, Zhuhai, to Macau, which is just a city-state, to Hong Kong, which is closer to Europe. So, I mean, through the ocean, a bridge. And they have done more after I've seen that one. I remember in 1989, I saw in Germany, West Germany, I saw a bridge, and then another bridge on top of bridge. Both of them are river. I was weeping. I said, you mean a river can be on top of another river? But when I got to China, I saw something else. They don't destroy hills to build roads. They penetrate hills. They don't build bridges on water anymore, except this one they want to display. They put highway. In Shagai, for instance, a twin city. There's a big river in Shagai. The highway, 8 lane, went under the river. You don't even know. Then rail lines went under the highways. And it's a natural river, still going on its course. Please, I think I'm digressing from the topic of this discussion. But to put it lamely, Nigeria is a 5th world country, and we are going to 6th, 7th. And a few years back, let's say 30 years back, you are older. China was behind Nigeria in development. I just told you that in 1989, after my NYC in Kano, I found that East Germany was far behind Nigeria. East Germany, although you don't even know whether there was East or West now.
I know.
It's only Germany, some of you are seeing. Well, at the time I was in Germany, there were no blacks, only American soldiers. The day I saw a black man, I cried. Myself and him, a Ghanaian. We heard each other, I cried. They were separating us. I couldn't bear it. I was crying. And then Germans then, any black they see, they think you are American. An American soldier. Well, go there now. Whites are in the minority. In Germany now, whites are in the minority. You go to Frankfurt Airport, which I was some few weeks ago, you see Asians, Chinese, blacks everywhere. You hardly see a white. They are minority right now. Arabs everywhere. So Nigeria, in terms of being 3rd world, I think we are lucky. Because we are moving to, and we have already gotten to 4th, 5th. We are going to the 6th world. Although in some pockets of areas, like you go to Ikoyi, you go to a part of Abuja, you go to a part of, this Atlantic, you will see that what is there competes with what is anywhere, central business district of any other country. But that is just there. We're talking of expressways traversing the nation. I mean, infrastructural development. I mean, the beauty of infrastructure is lacking. So where is the development? You have a fine apartment, you go to America or Canada or anywhere, apartment may not be as fine as this. So you are 1st world here. But the generality of the populace, the generality of the outside, they are 7th world, 9th world.
Of the plethora of Nigeria's problems, this right here is major.
So I think culturally we shouldn't really focus more on who are the northerners, who are those from the eastern part of Nigeria. Okay, I think this is the thing that, because you are made of so many, tribes, so it becomes, a tribal competition. Okay, that who is rich, who is poor, who is this, who is that. Okay, there should be no division. Okay, in terms of that. Okay, because this country is just one. This country is Nigeria. So there is no Igbo, there is no this, there is no... Just like in Philippines, so we call ourselves Filipinos. So when we go to other countries, we call ourselves Filipinos. We don't call ourselves Ilonggo, because I'm Ilonggo. I'm from the province of Iloilo. People, okay, from Visayas, they don't call them as Bisaya or Hiligaynon or Tagalog. When we go to, outside of Philippines, we call ourselves Filipinos. Yeah, and we speak, okay, the same language. We treat each other the same. So there's no such thing as, we came from this tribe, okay?
Yeah, it's like a Yoruba community.
Yes. So it's basically, educating, okay, the new generation, okay, that every tribe, okay, has only one purpose, okay? And it is for us, okay, to be proud, okay, of, where our ancestors came from. So if every tribe, if every community is, okay, will just unite, okay, then we can see, the future is very bright for every Nigerians. At the end of the day, when you go out of Nigeria, you are a Nigerian, you are not an Igbo. When you go to US, you are not an Igbo, or you are not, a Yoruba, you are a Nigerian. Even your passport will say there, Nigerian, right? Because
nothing else.
Yes, nothing else. It's Nigeria.
You see, we've tried to run away from this conversation. I shared a video one time of somebody saying why Nigeria may never work because of this heterogeneous nature of our identity, where everybody sees themselves first of their tribe before anything else. And by way of the academics, tribal identity is not bad. When you build up, when you have individual sense of belonging to a particular social or ethnic group, characterized by shared ancestry, shared language, and shared culture, is not bad. But where is the problem? Tribalism. And at that point, you now begin to believe that your social ethnic group is now more favored, more important, and you hold discriminatory views against other people, right? Other social ethnic groups. Now, the biggest problem of them all is bigotry. With bigotry, you now hold prejudiced, unreasonable, stubborn, intolerant belief towards other tribes or people from other ethnic nationalities. That's where the problem lies. And you see, anybody that is not focusing on solving this problem is not ready to tackle Nigeria. And I'm not saying we must be forced into this. I am saying that we must ask the questions whether we want to continue this thing, because it's not working. It's not working.
I think I've now come to terms with the fact that for us to have proper rapid development in Nigeria, we need to separate, we need to divide. Let the Yoruba man go their way, let the Northerners go their way, let the Easterners go their way. This thing about one Nigeria is definitely not going to work, Chacha. Wallahi. You cannot have South Africans clowning us. You cannot have Ghanaians clowning us. And now you now have Namibians clowning us. One Nigeria is definitely not going to work. You cannot have a simple argument or a debate with anybody from Africa right now and you are able to win. You speak one, they tell you electricity. You speak two, they tell you insecurity. You cannot travel 10 kilometers without writing your will. They speak about bad road. They've gone as low as internet. We need to divide. This thing about one Nigeria is not going to work. Having one person as a president sitting in one place called Aso Rock, deciding the fate of 300 million people, especially when you know these are the least smartest people in the country, it's not going to work. Let us bring some kind of competition within these different regions, instead of having to depend and say everything has to do with the federal government. Ordinary electricity. I was thinking this thing about electricity in Ghana was a joke, but apparently these guys are having the best type of electricity like they were in Europe. In Nigeria, you can't even boast of 24 hours electricity. In year 2026, we need to divide, man. The only war we are winning right now in Nigeria is just jollof rice, and then maybe dirty December, club in alcohol. No, we can do better. This thing about what Nigeria is 300 million people. When you look at these other countries I'm speaking about, you look at Ghana, they are not even up to 40 million. Namibia, 3 million on a good day. RCCG is bigger than Namibia. The Youth Ministry of Christ Embassy, they are bigger than Namibia. Yeah, these people, they are clowning us every single day. Nigerians cannot win one war. You cannot have a normal debate and say you are going to win. Everybody, they are clowning us. Giant of Africa, my foot. Let everybody go develop their region. Chase the Igbo man from the west. Go chase the Yoruba man from the east, let them go back. Everybody go make your region better. Go find the Igbo man in the north. Let everybody, but depending on one president to make these things happen is definitely not going to work. We are too many, we are too populated for this whole one Nigeria affair. It's not going to work. Let us divide. I am tired. I am tired. The bare minimum. We are not even speaking about healthcare. We are not even speaking about child mortality, education. Just the basics we cannot even be proud of. Not one Nigeria, my foot. Everybody go your way. Let's do a referendum. Let the people decide. Nonsense, man. I'm tired.
Good day to viewers all over the world and welcome back to Local Journal. Honestly, Nigeria is not a country that for now I have faith or any belief in that is going to work because of the plethora of issues that is facing us. Nigeria is not even created to even be one, and there is nothing joining us because there is no resemblance of identity whatsoever before the Brits brought us together, and that's the genesis of our problem. This problem will continue to avoid it. The solution to this problem will continue to shy away from the solution, thinking that we are doing ourselves good. The thing is, any foundation that is not laid properly, that foundation or that building or that monument is bound to crush or to crash, so to say. Nigeria's foundation was not built properly. We don't have a solid foundation in Nigeria, and the very fact that we don't have a solid foundation in Nigeria therefore means that there is no way Nigeria is going to survive being one. That's just the honest truth. Our leaders, in their own selfish interests and their own ways of forcing things, would want to force it and ensure that this unity continues. But in other words, the unity is a sham. There is no way this country is going to work. This country is beyond redemption. That is just the honest truth. It's not as if one is being pessimistic, happy. One is being unpatriotic whatsoever. I don't know how you want to paint the world or whatsoever. And one is not being negative about the future of Nigeria. We are just talking from the reality of things. Because just like someone stated in the video, people living today will in 10 years to come or in 20 years to come, people will prefer the condition that we're living today to what will be in 20 years to come, because the country keeps going worse every day. What we used to have in the 90s is our prayer point today. Nigeria was not really good in the 90s like that, but it's better than what it is today. When other countries turn their years of experience or their numbers as it increases into a learning curve to develop their country and to fix their country, we reflect on the past and we wish if the past was the present. That is the reality of Nigerians today. And I tell you this, unless you come to the round table to accept the fact that we are not one, we are not united, there is no way we are going to work as a country. No country had or has ever developed or become a great nation without anything like ethnic homogeneity. Nigerians were not homogeneous in nature, and to be honest, we are different from different tribal backgrounds. And for that very reason, that bias in people of our tribe or tribesmen or tribes people will continue to be a smoke screen to like divide this country and to like make this country even more worse. We can see various things going on. We can see that's Nigeria's body language. We tend to do things with only regions alone, and we tend to support people who are coming from our regions alone. And tell me, you have so many, more than 700 and something tribes in Nigeria. So tell me, how are we going to survive? Because if someone is not coming from your own region, there is no way that person is going to get the support he wants to get from you. Even the major tribes we have in the country, they are rivals today and they are fighting themselves. So tell me, how is this country going to move forward even when the head is like in shambles, when the heads are fighting and the heads are at loggerheads? Check any country today, all these developed worlds today, developed countries today, all of them are almost one. And that's the thing, and that's the reason why they unite together. They have one singular language, most of these countries, and that's why they unite together. They do their things together, and they don't even think about anything like tribalism. But in Nigeria, the reverse is the case. The earlier we talk about our unity, the better for us. And if we continue to shy away from it, then the reality will fall on our faces in the nearest future. That's just it. Drop what you think about this in the comment section. And if today is your first time to visit the channel, please kindly like, share, and subscribe to the channel.